A lot of designers think that their projects stop being profitable because the scope expanded. So additional site visits, additional revisions, maybe a little bit more procurement here and there, problems on site. And they think that it's because of all of this that they end up the project feeling like, well, where is all the money? And while those things add up, the main issue is something else, and that's what I want to talk to you in today's video. So all the hidden hours that you are currently not charging for that you should be. Yes, the extra visits, the contractor calls, the problems that happen on site do add up, and they probably have an impact on the profits that you make. But the real problem is this: most projects are undercharged from the get-go. So the scope creep that happens after is already building up on top of a fee that was not covering the actual work involved in a project. And that's why the gap between what you thought you were going to make and what you actually made is so big. So if you have ever wrapped up a project thinking, where did all the money go? Like, I thought I was going to make X profit and I made half of that, or the project dragged on and I spent an extra 2 months on this project than I should have. It's not necessarily because you priced it badly. It's just that you priced for the obvious work, so working on the design development, getting all the drawings for construction done, but not the actual work that you have to do around all of that. So what we're going to be looking at today first is the hours that you constantly forget to charge for, why these hours should be part of your pricing model. Then we'll look at how to calculate your base cost, and that's just the minimum you need to charge just to break even. And number 4, we're going to look at a real case study from a designer inside my 3 months program when we looked at her scoping and pricing structure. And I'm sure by the end, you're going to understand why your calendar is full, you're super busy, but the profits are not there. All right, so for the little story, we had a designer who started our 3 months program, the Profitable Designer Method, where we reset your operation, all your back end. We look at your scoping and pricing structure. We look at your workflow, your process. We look at delegation. We look at everything, all the business foundations. And this is the only way, when you have your business foundations really strong, that's when you can build a business that truly is profitable and scalable, which means it doesn't need you to be doing everything and you can actually start making more money. When we started working with her, she talked about a particular project. She spent 4 additional months on it, which means that she spent 4 months working on a project without being paid. She could never delegate anything, so she was stuck doing everything herself. And I can tell you that it's not the only designer that I know who's doing that, and that's why I'm doing this video. Every month, you're spending time talking to clients, reviewing their info, following up, answering questions, preparing for calls, briefing your team, reviewing the work, sending feedback. All of this is a lot of time that is, yes, it's not part of the presentation per se, that you are sending the client. Nonetheless, it's very important parts of the project that if they're not done, the project is not going to run smoothly. So you need to account for those hours. And I'm not telling you that you should be charging clients for doing your social media on a Friday morning, because that's part of your marketing strategy. But whatever is related to the project should be billed to the client. I just want to remind you that the purpose of having a business is for you to make profits. So it should not just cover the time that you're spending working on a design presentation, but it should also cover, of course, all the hours that you spend working somehow on the project. And this is just your base cost, like it's your base rate for you to run a project. It's not even profit at this point, because this is just your cost for making sure that the client gets what they need by the end of the project, right? So let's do a little exercise. If we look at this first client that I talked to you about, if we look at the hours that she spent at the onboarding, it was around 9 hours. Also, depending on how smooth your process is, if it's not, if you're going from one software to the next and you're reinventing the wheel for every project and you don't have a clear step-by-step of what needs to happen at the onboarding, this can add up. And for this particular client, when she came to me inside the program, that's the first thing that we said we're going to do is work on her inquiry and onboarding process to make sure it's highly streamlined, so she stops losing so much time. So if you feel like, oh my God, I can't possibly charge the client for doing all of this, then make sure that your process is really streamlined so that then everything is much faster on that bit and you can really focus on the design development phase. 55 hours for design, 32 hours for documentation, so everything that has to do with the construction package that they needed, 20 hours on the admin and coordination side, a few hours for follow-up, and that was like well over 125 hours. If your rate is around $200 per hour, that's over $24,000. That number does not include profit. This is your base cost. That's the minimum, that is simply the cost of your time to run, manage, and deliver the project professionally. This is the base cost. Profit comes after that, and that's what a lot of designers forget about. And if you are inside my program and we are going to look at your scoping, your pricing, we're going to tell you what you should charge, what's standard in the industry in terms of profit margin, but also a buffer for like revision. Sometimes it's going to be straightforward and sometimes not. You want to make sure that this is accounted for. One other thing, the scope should be super clear. So when you send a fee proposal, it has to be extremely detailed as to what is included and what comes extra. And if they want something that's outside the scope, that's completely fine. But if they want a few additional site visits or a few additional revisions or a new option for the design, then it has to be priced separately, whether it's hourly or it's an additional proposal. So the more streamlined your process, the more detailed your scope, the clearer you are about like how long it will take you to do different things. And that comes back to you having to track your time to know how long things take. So when you have all this in place, it's gonna give you time back for creative time because you don't have to keep guessing, right? So we show you in terms of buffer, in terms of profit margin, what to add on top of that base cost to ensure that one, you can delegate parts of that project. Second, that it will account for unexpected issues that will come along the way because it's normal, it's a design project, right? And it will leave you, even after delegation and those problems that will come up, it will leave you with enough profit for you to feel like, oh my God, that this project was successful. I have made the minimum profit that I was expecting, and I can grow this business. I can scale. It's sustainable. What is not sustainable is for you to keep working on projects, feeling burnt out, spending time away from your family, and ending a lovely project, I'm sure, that the client is really happy about, but you start to feel resentful of the client because of all the things that came along the way, and you have not made any money by the end of it. So remember that some of the things that we do want to charge the client for, and there are different ways you can do it, but first of all, time spent on preparing the scope, traveling to site, briefing your team, answering emails, doing all the invoicing, managing the project behind the scenes, right? You're not charging extra for those hours. You're charging what you should be charging. Own the value that you bring to the table. You're not a freelancer charging for their time, for their hours. You're a designer with a lot of knowledge who is going to remove a lot of headaches and guesswork that would happen if you weren't helping this particular client. You're someone who has spent years gaining knowledge and experience, and it's all that experience for them to have their dream home that you're bringing to the table. You don't have to necessarily charge hourly, and if you do, make sure that at least you charge properly. And if you want help implementing all of this, making sure that you're pricing accurately, that you're scoping properly, that's exactly what we do inside our 3 months program, the Profitable Designer Method. I will put in the description more details about it. You can read about it, you can book a call with me to see if this would be a good fit for where you are in your business right now, see if it supports your goal and your dream life. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.